I'm so excited about the pickleball courts. And do you know when the first tournament's going to be yet? Spring. For real? You've already talking about it? That's great. I'm going to get out there one of these days and play. Do they have a class going on?
No, they have a ton of people there on Friday morning.
Oh, they what?
On Friday morning.
Pickleball instructor? Like a hardcore pickleball instructor?
They're just people having fun.
I'll tell you what, I will train you in pickleball.
$500, only $500. A bargain. That's a bargain.
He'll know by the time you're out there.
Pickleball, how hard can it be?
How hard can it be?
Yeah.
We're ready to go whenever you are, Gwen.
That's awesome.
Economic development.
Set.
That's what I like to call it.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the regular meeting of the Sierra Vista City Council for October 25th, 2018. We'll start tonight, as we always start, with a call to order and the roll call. Madam Clerk.
Mayor Rick Mueller.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Alicia Ash.
Present.
Councilmember Bob Blanchard.
Here.
Councilmember Gwen Calhoun.
Present.
Councilmember Rachel Gray.
Present.
Councilmember Craig Mount.
Present.
Councilmember Christine Wolf.
Present.
Mr. Mayor, you have a quorum.
Thank you, Mrs. Adams. We'll next go on to the invocation. The invocation and the pledge tonight will be led by Mrs. Calhoun. Will you please rise? Yep.
Thank you. God of power and might, wisdom and justice, through you authority is rightly administered, laws are enacted, and judgment is decreed. Assist with your spirit of counsel and fortitude our mayor, our city council and staff, and all government leaders. May we always seek the ways of righteousness, justice, and mercy. Grant that we may be enabled by your powerful protection to lead our city with honesty and integrity. Amen.
Amen.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. Thank you, Mrs. Calhoun. Next, move on to item number 1, acceptance of the agenda. Ms. Wolf.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that the agenda for the regular City Council meeting of October 25th, 2018 be approved.
Second.
Been moved to second. Any corrections, deletions? Seeing none, I'll call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? It's unanimous. Thank you very much. We'll now move on to awards and presentations. And I would ask Councilwoman Gray and Ms. Catherine Honda to join me up front for a presentation. We're working good. Okay.
Good. Okay. So before I read the biography and the reasons I chose you, I'd also just like to talk about to everyone here the number of good things I hear about this clinic in the community. And every time I talk to dog owners, which anybody that knows me knows that's a lot of them that I talk with, and they never fail to tell me what a great job you guys do for them and their pets, whether it be a new puppy, letting go of a pet, whatever it is. They're always so highly complimentary of you, so thank you for that. So now I'll read the formal thing. Dr. William J. Pravat opened New Frontier Animal Medical Center in 1990. His goal was to provide state-of-the-art progressive veterinary medicine to Cochise County. New Frontier Animal Medical Center's team of 3 doctors and 37 support staff uphold Dr. Pravat's mission and vision of providing the best possible veterinary care to our community. Of 31 animal hospitals in the United States and Canada, New Frontier Animal Medical Center was awarded 2nd place at the American Animal Hospital Association's Hospital of the Year Awards ceremony in 2014. That was a mouthful. In addition to that national honor, the Sierra Vista community named New Frontier Animal Medical Center Large Business of the Year in 2014 and Best of Sierra Vista for the last 4 years. As one of the contracted vet clinics in Sierra Vista, they enjoy an exceptional reputation for being customer service leaders with a highly qualified staff. The staff's team approach of personal and compassionate service has been witnessed in a number of instances, from after-hours emergency services, overnight monitoring, and emergency response to community incidents. The center has also sponsored the 4th of July Pet Parade, the Biggest Loser weight loss for pets, which a couple of mine need to enter, and holiday pet pictures with Santa for many years. I, Rachel Gray, would like to recognize New Frontier Animal Medical Center as the Sierra Vista Business of the Month for October 2018.
I do want to say congratulations, Catherine. And if you have anything you want to share?
Mayor, I just want to say this is an incredible honor, and thank you, Rachel, for nominating us. You already said we had the team of 3 doctors and 35 actual staff members. We absolutely love this community. We love the city of Sierra Vista. We love contributing wherever we can and being a part. Thank you again very, very much. And I'm excited to get this back and put it on the wall.
If you want to get in. We'll now move on to the city manager's report. Mr. Patucci.
Okay. Thank you, Mayor Mueller, members of the council. Our next regularly scheduled work session is scheduled for Tuesday, the 6th of November, 3 p.m. here in the council chambers. 2 items of interest will be discussed. The first is a draft proposed personnel rules and regulations update, and then the CCOM IGA amendments that were recently adopted by the County Board of Supervisors. Just a couple projects tonight. The Animal Control Surgical Expansion Project will be advertised starting Sunday, November 4th, with bid openings scheduled for December 7th at 2 p.m. And then our airport planning professional services contract has been awarded to Kaufman Associates, who we have a long working relationship with, and they do an excellent job. And that's all I have tonight. Thank you, Mayor Mueller.
And the airport planning, is that what we're due for our 5-year plan again? Is that what we're doing?
Yes.
Okay. All right. All right. Any other questions for Mr. Patucci on his report? All right. Seeing none, we'll go ahead into item number 2. Mr. Mount.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, I move that the consent agenda consisting of City Council meeting minutes of October 11, 2018, Resolution 2018-076, the acceptance of a sewer line easement for Lawley Nissan Sierra Vista be approved.
It's been moved and seconded. Any comments or questions from council? Seeing none, I'll call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? It's unanimous. Thank you very much. We now move to new business. Item number 3, Mayor Pro Tem Ash.
Mr. Mayor, I move that Resolution 2018-077, 2020 U.S. Census Complete Count Committee be approved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Mr. McLaughlin, may we have the staff report, please?
Yes. Mr. Mayor, members of council, this resolution affirms the importance of an accurate and complete census count in April 2020, and towards that end establishes the city's Count Committee as a volunteer committee on increasing about the motivating residents in the community to respond to the census. Staff recommends that the city join the countywide Complete Count Committee to avoid duplication. Staff will see the committee through platforms and will provide the city council with a list of those who wish to serve. Specific focus will be placed in those census tracts that were underreported in the prior census. We'll work with Emily, our U.S. Census Bureau representative, in developing an action plan and schedule in the upcoming months, which will provide detail to the effort. And we will, of course, keep council informed of our progress through the monthly executive report. And with that, I'll take any questions.
Thank you, Mr. McLaughlin. Questions or comments? Yes, ma'am.
I'll just comment that I think this is a really good thing. This is the first time I've been aware that we do something like this, or that it's been requested that we do something like this. I think it's a really good thing. I would encourage citizens from the community, Boy Scouts, tell your leaders, suggest that folks get involved in this. And I appreciate there is some focus on underreported. Is that the word used? Undercounted areas in the community. If you are aware that you're in an undercounted area, please make an effort to be a part of this this committee. And by the way, who do they contact at the city?
They can contact myself.
Matt McLaughlin at Community Development Department. So we look forward to having you serve. Thanks, Matt.
Okay, anybody else? Call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? It's unanimous. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. McLaughlin.
You're welcome.
We now move to call to the public. We have one gentleman that would like to address us tonight, Mr. Newcomb. And Mr. Newcomb, you know the 5-minute rule, so I'm not going to bore everybody with it.
You might remember about 25 years ago when there were some boys that went into the Village Meadows area and killed some peacocks that were pets. And that church that's over there on Charleston Road that had a daycare center where someone went in there and killed some ducks and goats and stuff there. Well, there's some other things you might not know about. About 20 years ago, maybe 25 years ago, there were a lot of blackbirds in this town that had lame legs, a lot of them. And I don't think these birds were following me around so that I was double counting birds. I wasn't even counting, but there were a lot of blackbirds that had injured legs. And it's very likely that in a military town of machismo and also racial competition, that if ever they laid a girl who had skin of color, or if a colored guy happened to get a white girl, what they had to do was to get a blackbird. These were things that were happening. Now, in the last year, over by where I sleep, there are 3 roadrunners there in the same area that have their legs lame. And I think that also that is something that is another hate crime that is going on, because there is that garage there, there's that pawn shop there, and there's that auto parts store there. That garage used to be owned by Gabrielle Gifford's family. You know what happened to Gabrielle Giffords. There's a lot of things that go on that y'all don't know about because no one will report it, because no one sees. You will live in your cars and your television and your grocery store and that place that you call work. You don't know the things that go on outside that window that you roll up in your car. So, just like Paul McCartney used to live up there by the Rincon Mountains, when he first arrived here and was friends with Linda Eastman, who he later married, he asked her about going birding. And Linda told him that it's permitted. Now, sometimes they call females birds. They want to bring them down. But they're going around and they're hurting real birds. Real birds who are lighter than a feather, like a ballet dancer, not females. Jonas, I would think that you would be glad that from here in the San Pedro Valley, I am not St. Peter. because I would have arranged for a housewarming party for you. There are birds who are born to go down, just like 2049. That's what 2049 told you about. That's in military time. That is 11 minutes before 9. That Blade Runner film. But if you turn that around, that's 9/11. So there are birds in this world who are born to lose, but they need happiness, you know? And when you go and do that, Jonas, you compromise the ability of opera companies to reach out and keep that art form alive so that people can escape this prison that we are in. You know, the police went in there, and they were the ones who sprayed the inside of the Met offices because of what you did. You should be very glad that I am not St. Peter. And you should be very glad that I got to be the role of asking or seeking forgiveness of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Newcomb. We'll now move on to comments and requests of council. Tonight we'll start with Mrs. Calhoun. Mrs. Calhoun.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a couple of comments. Following tonight's meeting at 5:30 at the Chiricahua Community Health Center, there will be the lighting of luminarias to honor this being Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And so this is at Chiricahua Community Health Center at 155 Calle Portal here in Sierra Vista. You're invited to attend that to show your support for awareness of how serious the issue of domestic violence is. And also want to remind everybody to go out and vote on November 6th. And remember, the Sierra Vista City Council election is a nonpartisan race, not so with most of the rest of the race. And also don't forget to turn your ballot over and vote on the back side. I'm not sure where the council and the mayor's positions are represented this year, but don't forget to turn it over and complete the entire ballot when you vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Calhoun. Good advice. Ms. Wolf.
I have nothing, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councilwoman Wolf. Ms. Gray.
Mr. Mayor, I just want to publicly say thank you to Sharon. I had to call her, I think week before last, yes, about an issue that they were having. They had run into a little snafu with the kids triathlon, which is a very important event. I called Sharon and made her aware of the situation, and she handled it very quickly and very creatively. And I then heard from the race director after, and he was very pleased and very happy with the solution and talked about how it was actually much safer for the kids, which in his mind was of greatest importance. So thank you very much for that.
Thank you, Mrs. Gray. Mr. Mount.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a couple things. First, foremost, one of my favorite holidays of the year is coming up, which is Halloween. That and April Fool's Day seem to be what's big in our household. But Halloween is great, and obviously with that, there's going to be lots of young men and women walking around in costumes at night, trick-or-treating, just so for everybody to kind of keep an eye out, make sure that everybody's being safe and watching where they're driving and driving slow so nothing else happens there. November 5th through the 9th, coincidentally, is also Walking Bike to School Week with the school district, so keep an eye out for that again, is little ones are walking around that we're all always being safe, but specifically on that week, they're going to try to promote it. And very good to see all the Boy Scouts in here. I assume you're working on your civics badges, your government badges. That's good. Keep it up, and we hope to have all y'all going up to the Eagle's Nest and the Eagle Scout things here shortly. So thank you for showing up. And I think that is all that I have today, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mount. Mr. Blanchard.
I have nothing.
Thank you, Mr. Blanchard. Mayor Pro Tem Ash.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just wanted to say hi to the Boy Scouts as well, and thank you for coming.
And I do have a couple things in closing. First, I just want to remind everybody, yesterday was World Polio Day. There's only 2 countries that have polio in it right now. And for those my age and older, it was quite a scare back in the day, and we need to continue to work to eradicate polio. Mr. Mount mentioned Halloween and being safe. We need to make sure that we are safe when the little ones are out there doing their trick or treat. But there's also some events going on at the Cove, at Veterans Memorial Park. I understand some of the churches on the west side are also doing an event at the Len Roberts Park. I know Len's name just flew out of my head right there. Len Roberts Park as well. So there are some safe venues for kids to go trick or treat. So please enjoy the holiday. I will mention Veterans Day is coming up. Again, it's going to be before. It's going to be after the next council meeting, but again, it's on the 10th, Saturday the 10th, since Veterans Day is on Sunday, and it's the 100th anniversary of the end of World War I. So it should be a great celebration. I want to thank the Webelos for being here tonight, and I too will to remind you that we have an election on the 6th. So do what your dead relatives in Chicago do every year: vote early and vote often. Seeing nothing else before the council, the meeting is adjourned.
That happened one time.
All right. 20 minutes.